Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another Walking Dead video, but this is not any ordinary video. This one is going to be doing probably the most anticipated video I've had to do this year, and that is going to be to finally, after all of these months of waiting, tonight was the night the Walking Dead Season 10 finale has aired. Season 10, Episode 16, A Certain Doom. Alright guys, so the time has finally come. We are going to do our review for The Walking Dead Season 10 finale. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. That's the first thing I want to ask you guys, is that I hope you guys are happy with the Season 10 finale. It has been an episode that has been cooked up for a very, very long time, and I do plan on going very in-depth with this episode in this review. So, I know this is going to be a long video. I know it's definitely going to be. There's no way it's not. So definitely, I do want to say before we get into this episode, that I guess I may as well also start off with, I'm actually filming this on Friday morning, and I'm going to post this obviously for you guys on a Sunday night. So this is a couple days beforehand, if you guys are interested in just knowing that. So, because I can't wait until like even just a few more days to talk about this episode. I really want to do this video now so I can get this video ready for Sunday for you guys for Sunday night while you guys are watching this. So, yeah, in terms of this episode, obviously, like I said, we've been waiting for a while, and it's been an episode that we've been really putting a lot of pressure on, I feel like, going into it, because we just had so much that needed to happen in this episode, and I'm very satisfied with this episode, okay? That's the first thing I want to kind of start off with saying, you know, this is, in my opinion, one of the best finales The Walking Dead has ever done, and I'm not joking. I've seen this episode a good few times now. I can honestly say this is probably one of my all-time favorite episodes of the Walking Dead series. It does not have many big character deaths. It does have a few, but it does not have as many as we thought. And I feel like that is going to be what a lot of people are going to focus on. It's like, oh, there wasn't enough deaths in this episode. Honestly, I disagree. I actually disagree. I think that this episode did everything right. Almost everything right. I do have a couple flaws, but they're very minor. I mean, they are very minor. It's not even, I feel bad flawing the little things I'm going to mention in this episode, because it was just such an incredible episode. It surpassed my expectations, and I'm not joking. It wasn't just a first viewing thing. No, I've watched this episode a good few times now, and I can honestly say it has completely surpassed my expectations, 100%. So, all right. Starting off in March, we found out this episode was going to be delayed. A lot of us were really upset, and I remember that, we were really upset because we only had Look at the Flowers, episode 14, and the Tower episode, episode 14, episode 15. And I remember then we were just kind of wondering when this episode was going to be coming out. Now, a lot of us thought this episode was going to be coming out in July. Obviously, we didn't get that. We found out that we were really going to have to wait until when Season 11 was supposed to start, which is now. And it's crazy that we would have probably seen the Season 11 premiere right now. Just to think of that for a second. That's crazy. So, if it wasn't for this just crazy world we live in right now. But, anyway, let's talk about it. Let's discuss. I'm not going to delay it any further. Let's talk about the episode. We're going to start from the beginning all the way to the end, and we will discuss. But, however, before I get into it, I just want to say, if you have not seen this episode yet, this is your time to leave. I do not want to spoil anything for you, and obviously, this episode, had a lot of stuff going on, and this review will contain major spoilers. So, without further ado, let's get into the review for episode 16 of The Walking Dead, A Certain Doom. Now, this episode opens with, in my opinion, one of the best introductions to an episode I've ever seen. It's just got so much in it. You've got Gabriel. He's running, of course, just in panic mode, pretty much. And you've got Gracie and RJ there, of course, that are, kind of noticing, along with Gabriel, the walkers that are obviously outside. Now, Gabriel starts to kind of panic as he sees the walkers kind of roaming outside, and they say that they're scared. And he says, but you're safe up here. And basically, he says, see these fingers, not much to look at, right? But together, they make a mighty weapon. and that's who we are. Alexandria, Alexandria, Hilltop, Oceanside, people of the kingdom. And then she's like, is that enough? And he's like, I'm not done yet, you know? I love that. That speech is amazing. And then he says the others. Now, we have Daryl and them that are trying to come into the hospital. Obviously, Carol kills the one walker that Daryl kind of throws to the wall, which is pretty cool. We got Eugene and the others that are, of course, driving the little bicycles or whatever. And they are making their way to their, meeting with Stephanie, obviously. And it looks like they're really struggling to get there in time. And let me just take a second to acknowledge the music in this scene is incredible, with the over voice of Gabriel saying, those that might find us help, I get the chills just thinking about it. It's such an amazing scene. And honestly, I've seen this scene 1,000 times since April, but I freaking love it. It's such an amazing scene overall. So, we've got, of course, Aaron and Alden, of course, that are, fighting some of the whispers. Now, here's a little flaw I have, okay? I was gonna give it a second for them to explain it, but now that I've seen the episode, I've got to acknowledge it. Okay, how did they beat those whispers, okay? They were surrounded in episode 15, okay? That does not exactly make sense that they just somehow got away. I don't buy that for 1 second. I want to know how they escaped from those whispers, because one of those whispers had a gun pointed to Aaron's head, okay? I'm sorry, I can't say that scene was perfect. It had some problems for sure. But anyway, we got Virgil, of course, who is at Oceanside. He finds it completely abandoned and stuff. And then we got the masked person that shows up. Now, cool. All right. So I was very excited to see who this character was, and that's actually my biggest flaw with this episode, is who this new person is. And yeah, we'll get into that later on. So we got Maggie seeing the note, obviously, and she's kind of catching up on the fact that all of these people have died. Aaron, and them and the rest of them, they get saved by the masked person who was with Maggie, but which we kind of find out later, that person's with Maggie. But Maggie, of course, is off right now finding out that all these people have died, and she has to kind of come back, which is crazy. But yes, Jesus is dead, Enid's dead, and all this stuff, and it's just Tara, just all these people, and crazy, absolutely insane. So we got Beta and the rest, of course. The walkers are still talking to Beta, and he says begin, which I think is so cool. And every time I see Beta say begin, I almost feel like he's saying, like, begin the episode, begin the craziness, and basically they go for the hospital, and you got the wide shot, which is awesome. So intro, of course, we still have that awesome burnt out logo from the Hilltop fire, which is really, really awesome. And then we get to Eugene and them, of course, on their way to the I guess the Commonwealth to meet Stephanie. So Eugene crashes the bike. He kind of he's bleeding a little bit, and we have Eugene that kind of loses hope a little bit. And this scene was amazing. Ezekiel's like, listen, when that horse, if you guys remember when his horse died, he was kind of like, oh, like maybe I shouldn't, be out here. Maybe you guys should go on without me. Now Eugene's kind of starting to feel that same type of thing, and I love the part when Princess, she kind of, I forget what she tells Eugene, but I remember Yumiko's just like, she's right, and Princess is like, I am, I love Princess. I think she's absolutely amazing. You can hate me all you want for loving Princess, but I love the Princess. I think she's awesome. So, but anyway, and the actress is killing it, in my opinion. So, basically, they keep going, Ezekiel says, we got to keep going, we give it everything we had, and we get there, that type of thing. So, but Eugene knows they're late. That's the other thing as well. So, basically, we got Daryl and Carol, of course, that are getting ready. We got Gabriel, who is basically explaining to everybody. We lead the horde to the, the cliff and stuff. Luke is preparing, of course. He's technically prepared, I guess, as he says. And, basically, Oceanside doesn't want Lydia to come along. And I find it funny, they focus on Lydia, and they don't want her to come along. But then you got Negan that's just, like, sitting there, like, right next to it. It's like, come on, man. It's like, Negan's the one you shouldn't trust. Lydia is an innocent little girl that had a terrible mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, Negan I would be more afraid of if I was Oceanside, specifically because Negan was the leader of the group that Simon went in to kill all the, anyway, that really frustrated me when they said that, like, I don't want Lydia to come along. It's like, why? It's an extra person, she's not gonna hurt you, like, I don't know, that's dumb. And especially because they were there at the fair, too, when they signed that charter thing, and Rachel was there, and she saw Lydia, and she could clearly tell Lydia was in his eyes. I don't know. Anyway, that really frustrated me, especially because Negan was, like, sitting right there. It's like, come on, like, you know? But anyway, so basically we got a couple scenes to play through here. One with Lydia and Carol that I really did enjoy, where maybe Carol can kind of become maybe a mom for Lydia, which is very interesting seeing what Carol did just a few episodes back. But hey, I mean, still really cool, and still I really like that conversation between the two of them. And I love how Carol's got the knife too. Carol is always prepared, and that's what I love about Carol. She is always prepared for anything, and yeah, Carol's awesome, and she was really awesome in this episode as well. But anyway, so basically, we get to focus on our characters. They're putting the walker guts on. Negan doesn't really want to come along, and Daryl says, you know, you got to put your ass on the line, that type of thing. And yeah, really, really awesome. And hey, I don't blame Negan. That would be a very kind of crazy situation they're in. So basically, we got Luke and Jules. They focus on them for a quick second as well, which I'm just like, man, like these two, one of these two is like so dead, you know? But yeah, anyway, so basically, Gabriel and them, you know, they open the door, Lydia's standing there watching them, and Judith, you know, puts her hand on the glass, and Daryl's like, you know, like kind of saying a goodbye to Judith, and in a very Daryl way, where he just doesn't say anything and, you know, walks off. So, Daryl, of course, never always just not with the big, you know, speeches or big goodbye scenes or anything. They just don't give him that kind of dialogue, I guess. But, anyway, so they're stepping out, of course. You've got the walkers that come in, Daryl and them, they're all in the group, and they basically, walk out into the hospital, like outside the hospital. So we got you know, Kelly that's wearing the Whisper mask, and I love how they show the perspective of the mask. That was a nice touch. And basically, they walk through. You've got, you know, Beta, and then they're walking through, and you got Gabriel, Rachel, and the others that are watching from the top. Now, you have a Whisper, of course, that comes up with the burnt face, and they're kind of making their way up. And the effects here is absolutely amazing. And somebody pointed this out, which I absolutely love, is that I like how the burned part of the face is exactly where Dwight's face was burned in, you know, The Walking Dead, obviously. And that Whisper, the burn was on that same side of the face, and it's like a similar burn to Dwight. I like that. That is really cool. I like how they added that in just perfectly like that. I don't know if it was intentional, but I would assume it is. So, man, I miss Dwight on this show. So, and Morgan, while I'm at it as well. But we'll see them in Fear next week, I guess. So, anyway, really cool. So basically, they're making their way through, Daryl and them, and they actually get out, which is kind of shocking to me. They actually do make it out. Jerry, Magna, Daryl, and the others, they make it out. Now, the one, you know, because they're kind of spread out, you know, groups or whatever, and the one group that, of course, does suffer a casualty is Carol and Beatrice. Now, the Whisper, unfortunately, stabs Kelly in the leg, and she goes down and she gets eaten alive, and we have the death of Beatrice. Now, Carol takes the book bag as she gives her the book bag, and she basically kind of has to go, and Carol has to leave her, unfortunately. Now, in terms of Beatrice and her death as a character, it doesn't do too much for me, I'm sorry, but it just doesn't. She was not one of my favorite characters. She was always a nuisance, in my opinion. She tried to kill Tara and swear, and she was really annoying, especially even in this episode. We don't want Lydia to come. It's like, who are you? You're gone half the time anyway. Like, seriously, I don't know. But anyway, so she gets killed off, and actually, let's take a quick, you know, second to acknowledge that she is the only death in this episode, which is absolutely insane, but she is the only death in this episode. Now, Beta basically decides to turn the herd around, and basically we have Daryl and the others that lure the herd away. Now, they play some really awesome music in this episode, which I thought was really, really cool as well, as they're leading the walkers away. And basically, they're kind of radioing in Gabriel and kind of letting him know what's going on. Now, unfortunately, they do lose the wagon, which is unfortunate, and the Whisperers kind of take possession of that, basically. And they have to just run off into the woods, which is, you know, insane itself as well. But basically, Lydia volunteers as she catches up with our characters in this episode. And I love how in this episode, Negan gives Lydia the mask, and she joins our characters later on, of course. And it's Alpha's mask. It's Alpha's face mask, which is just crazy. And it just creeps Carol out the first time she sees it as well, which is just insane. But she basically volunteers in this episode to go with, or I guess go on her own and lead the herd off the canyon and off, you know, off the cliff, and basically just destroy the herd itself. So yeah, Daryl's just like, we don't have time for this, we gotta go. And basically we have Carol that leads the herd on her own. Now, we'll get to that in a second. Let's discuss Gabriel in the hospital. Now, this was insane. You got a Whisper in them, they're trying to kind of break through, and you got a bomb that goes off. Now, he saves Rachel. A couple of them do go down, which I do notice. And you got Gabriel that is basically prepared to, you know, take out these Whispers and kind of... Now, okay, this is the moment I was on the edge of my seat. Because Gabriel and that scene he had with Judith... absolutely just, oh man, I was really nervous for Gabriel in this scene. I mean, absolutely so nervous for Gabriel. And basically, to make a long story short, Gabriel he kind of does go down fighting, but he doesn't die, you know? But in a way, he was prepared to go down fighting just like that to save Judith and the others. And, let's take a quick second. Let's pause here for a second to also acknowledge that Scott had some lines in this episode. You know, he said, "Come on, Judith." I mean, that's great. You know, Scott is now surviving into The Walking Dead Season 10 additional episodes and probably Season 11 as well. So I guess way to go, Scott, for surviving. Our favorite character in The Walking Dead show is Scott. Only a few people will get what I mean by that, but a lot of us joke around with Scott a lot because he just doesn't do anything, you know. But yeah, he does survive this episode, and I mean, yay, I guess, you know. So but basically, Gabriel goes down fighting, and then you got the masked person that comes in. Now, here's a flaw with this episode. Okay, Maggie comes back. She saves Gabriel. Love it. Maggie's return, absolutely amazing. Love that scene. I've watched it like so many times, just that scene together. And Gabriel's, you know, very happy to see her, and Gabriel's okay. So that is good. I'm so happy that Gabriel survived. Seth Gilliam, he is the man, and I'm very, very excited to see what he does going forward in the rest of the show. And honestly, I know it's probably not going to happen, but I would love if Gabriel survived till the end. I know that's not going to happen. They're probably going to kill him off at some point, but man, Gabriel is so awesome, and I'm so grateful that he's okay for now. I really, really am. That was awesome as well. Now, we didn't get the water tower death, and honestly, I don't think this episode needed it. I really don't think this episode needed a water tower death or a Andrea Bite comic death. Let's also acknowledge that. That did not happen. Maggie came, and she saved Gabriel. Now, alright, here's one flaw. The masked person is just a random character, which is definitely something that we predicted. Now, for all the people that say this is Dwayne Morgan's son, or it's this person, it's that person, I don't understand how people thought it was Dwayne. That was one theory I saw going around a lot. I can definitely say, even though we haven't seen who this person is under the mask, I can pretty much guarantee you it's not Dwayne, okay? I'm just gonna say that. But, yeah. Anyway, so Maggie returns, saves Gabriel, saves our characters. Aaron and Alden are with her, and really, really cool. Absolutely amazing return for Maggie. I was actually very happy to see her return in that scene because she saved Gabriel, so absolutely amazing there. Now, our characters are obviously in the herd, obviously, and you have Beta that spots, he spots Lydia wearing Alpha's mask, and then, as soon as he goes for that, Negan gets Beta's attention. Now, this scene was incredible. As soon as Negan, like kind of whispers Beta, and he's like, "Hey, over here," you know? And you just see Negan with the mask on, and you see Beta, and he sees Negan. The music they play in this is just phenomenal. I mean, it is phenomenal. He's just he's like, "Hey," you know, and he kind of turns around and Beta just looks at him or whatever. And then it's like, "Da, da, da," you know, "Da, da, da." And then he just, starts running, and he, plows through these zombies just to get to Negan. He throws one at Negan, and then we got a fight between the two. Now, Beta tries to kill Negan. Obviously, he says for Alpha. And just when you think he's about to do something and he's about to hurt Negan or maybe even kill him or just whatever, Daryl comes around, gets completely shocks Beta. Daryl shows up. Beta turns around, and he stabs him in the frickin' eyes with his two knives. I mean, my goodness. I mean, if that's not the most epic scene ever, I don't know what is. And as if this scene couldn't be perfect enough, Beta then takes out the knives, and he's embracing his death. We embrace all death, as Alpha, would say. And, yeah, Beta is killed in this episode. I can't even believe this, honestly. I was really hoping he was going to survive into Season 11, but you know what? I'm good with this. I'm good with this death. This death was the most epic you could ever make his death. And I actually do think it was at a perfect time, too. Because I feel like the Whisperers, if they didn't end in this finale, it may have felt like they were dragging a bit. So ending the Whisper storyline now, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I'm satisfied. And his death is crazy. So he's basically having these flashbacks with Alpha. And definitely, you know, rest in peace to Alpha's character. And I really like how they're doing Beta's death to where they treat Beta's death like that is what completely wraps up the Whisperers. And that's why they do a bit of a recap with Alpha saying we are the end of the world and all this kind of stuff in these flashbacks as Beta's getting eaten alive, is because they're showing that Beta was that last straw of the Whisperers, and now they're done. You know, that is really, really good. And can we please focus on, for a second, the creepy smile he makes with the blood coming down, and he's just like, just smiling. And he is like getting eaten alive, and they take him down. And then Negan says, do you know who that guy was? And Daryl's like, yeah, nobody. So obviously going along with Beta being a famous, you know, country singer, obviously we know that. That was confirmed for us kind of earlier this season, as well as in Fear the Walking Dead. But, yeah, so guys, Beta is done, and so are the Whispers. Now, to conclude the Whisper storyline, we've got Carol that leads the Walkers all the way to the edge, of course, and makes them fall off. Now, we've got Carol that basically decides that she, in this moment, she considers maybe I should just go off the cliff with this herd. That was crazy. And then Lydia pulls her back. She has to yank her arm because Carol's so focused on maybe I should just jump off, which is insane. And Carol is saved by Lydia in this scene. Now, they, of course, hug, and, you know, she's like, I told you to go, and all that kind of stuff. And, Carol, for me, in this episode was amazing. I mean, I haven't been the biggest fan of what they've done with her this season, but this episode, I feel like, fixed her character a lot for me, honestly. I'm back to kind of liking Carol again. I really do like Carol a lot, and, I like this episode, and just how they handled, Carol in this episode. I'm okay with her again. I'm liking Carol. I liked what they did with her in this episode. So, the Walkers fall off, and that is the end, as Lydia and Carol hug. And the last piece of it, you know, Beta's dead, all this stuff has happened, but the last piece is the mask, which this shot is beautiful, with Alpha's mask falling off and kind of just letting go of Alpha completely, and the Walkers falling, just that one shot, and I'll insert a picture of it here. Absolutely incredible. I mean, absolutely incredible. And basically, the end of the Whispers is the herd is done, Alpha's mask is off with it, and our characters have won. And that is that. So, wow, just crazy. And the scenery in this scene was incredible. Like Game of Thrones level scenery. This was incredible, honestly. Just wow. Anyway, so basically, our characters have, you know, basically won. You have everybody that's kind of just, you know, relaxing now. And Maggie sees both Gracie first, and then the main one, she sees Judith. So, this scene was amazing. I mean, honestly, Judith and Maggie seeing each other again, absolutely incredible. And I was so, so happy to see that. So, that is definitely a highlight in this episode as well. Very happy to see that. Now, here's a little disappointment in this episode. We did not see Negan and Maggie interact. Now, obviously, this is going to be a focus that they go into maybe in the additional episodes or Season 11. Whatever they do is fine. But I'm so darn excited to see Maggie and Negan, you know, talk. It's not even funny. I'm so excited to see it. And I know a lot of people are going to say, Dan, I'm so disappointed. I thought we were going to see them interact in this episode. Listen, I hear your argument. I do. But it was so good. I mean, it was so, so good. And, like what they did with Maggie's return in this episode, that I'm honestly not even upset that we didn't see them interact. It would have been good, but I'm okay with, you know, how they handled it. Now, we have a bit of a mention with Daryl and Carol. Now, it looks like they're good. It looks like they're okay now. And they do mention New Mexico again, which is obviously setting up for their spin-off series, which I definitely want to focus on for a minute, because they're definitely setting up that spin-off series, and they're already setting it up in this episode. And now that they mention New Mexico, it's not so much like, whatever. Now when they mention New Mexico, it's not like in the season premiere of this season. We kind of just thought they were kind of just joking when it comes to New Mexico, but now to see how serious that topic is with them mentioning New Mexico is insane to me. It's crazy. So, yeah, absolutely crazy. So, anyway, basically, let's talk about it. After Daryl and Carol kind of are okay, we get the reveal that Connie is alive. Now, we all knew she was alive, but seeing her, Thank you, Angela, for bringing that into this episode. Absolutely incredible. And Connie is very much alive. She's in rough shape. That is for darn sure. I mean, she is in rough shape. And, of course, the one person that finds her, and let's not delay this any further, is the biggest moron of the whole series right now, Virgil. So, is Virgil going to be a villain? Is he going to hold her hostage? Is he going to try to, save her and bring her to the group and earn his place? I don't know what they're going to do with her. And Virgil, and just the two of them, and what they're going to do with them next. But, I'm just so happy that Connie returned, because I was really starting to doubt that we would see her in this episode, but I am very, very happy that we saw Connie in this episode. Absolutely amazing, and I'm so happy, and I just can't wait to see Daryl and Connie find each other again. That is going to be amazing. So, very, very cool stuff. Now, let's discuss the end. Eugene, Princess, Yumiko, Ezekiel, they make their way there, and they're late. And basically, they're forced to just kind of wait there. Nothing's really going on. And I love the little joke that Princess kind of says, too, is that, you're a one horny dude, I love that. That was a hilarious scene, and I just, I love that scene so much. So, basically, let's not delay it any further. The lights come on, and we have an iconic scene from the Walking Dead comics with the Commonwealth introduction. Amazing. Absolutely incredible. And the Commonwealth is officially introduced into the TV series. And Eugene, Yumiko, Ezekiel, and Princess, who Princess was a little hesitant to drop her weapon there. But, yeah, they have to drop their weapons, and Eugene looks terrified, which I can't blame him. I mean, that's a lot of people, and there's way more. So that's, yeah, definitely. I can understand his perspective. But, what do we think of the Commonwealth soldiers, and how do they look in the TV show? Amazing. A million times better than I thought they were ever going to look. The music they use in this, the dunna, with them coming in, phenomenal. Absolutely amazing. And, just an amazing ending to this episode, as Eugene's just like shaking, and he's just like, holy crap, like what is this, did that girl set me up, that type of thing. So, yeah, just, crazy. So, yeah, guys, that is the season 10 finale of The Walking Dead. Where it goes from here, I mean, comic readers may have a bit of an insight. I obviously do, but this was very different from The Walking Dead comics, and a good different. Like, it was really good. A lot of this stuff was original to the show. Some parts were, from the comics and a little remixed, but this was a phenomenal episode. There were a few things I didn't like. I wanted to know who the masked person was. I want to see a Negan and Maggie interaction, but my way of looking at it is, we already saw a lot in this episode. That's gonna come. We're gonna know who this character is. We're gonna see Maggie and Negan interact at some point. And the Aaron and Alden thing, how they escaped from the Whispers, it's just minor stuff. It's just nitpicking, if you ask me. 10 out of 10, guys. 10 out of 10 for this episode. Yeah, that's where I stand. This is a 10 out of 10 episode. So, where do we go from here? Where does The Walking Dead Season 10 continue with episodes 17 through 22? They're going to start filming them very soon. I think on the 12th is their first day. They are on set right now, and they're kind of getting prepared, so should be awesome. Absolutely amazing. And I've seen a lot of interviews with the cast as they're kind of getting prepared for this episode, or for these, 6 additional episodes. But where does it go from here? The Commonwealth is here. Beta's dead. The Horde is gone. Alpha kind of died with it, and Beta, and just all that kind of stuff, and her mask was done. And Maggie is returned. And what is going to happen with her and Negan now? I am just so happy with this episode. And not to mention that Gabriel is alive. That is the one thing I'm just so happy about. And honestly, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic episode. 10 out of 10 for me. I'm just so happy with this episode. So, I know this was a long review, but what did you guys think of the Season 10 finale? The episode is here. And now, with the videos going forward, we're gonna start doing some prediction videos for what's to come. Episode 17 and, the additional episodes, and we're gonna do a lot of videos leading up to that. And whenever those episodes come out, we will be reviewing them on the channel. So, Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Write your comments in the comment section below. Stay tuned for a review for the pilot of The Walking Dead World Beyond. That's going to be coming up as well as a predictions for The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 17 as well. I'm probably going to do that as well. We don't have any promos or previews at the time of filming this video, but I'm still going to do it because I want to give my thoughts on what I think is going to happen next. So, anyway guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Write your comments in the comment section below. If you guys are new here, click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my Walking Dead reviews. Follow Dan's Walking Dead Reviews on Instagram, guys, and did the finale live up to the hype? For me, it surpassed it. So I want to hear from you guys. Where do you guys stand on this episode out of 10? And, you know, I just, yeah, guys, the finale is here, and I'm very, very happy. So anyway, guys, I'll see you guys really soon for another video. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
Anybody out there?